law laws of those who practice. Now, without further ado, here's your host, me. Hello, everyone, and a happy Cancer new moon. I am so excited to have you all here, as always. And today I am sitting with the fabulous Vanessa Cuccia, who is the founder and creator of Chakrubs. Hello, hello.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yes, it's so good to have you here. I think you were on, I think it was like my first podcast years ago.
Years, yeah. Nice to be back.
Yay! And wearing wigs. I'm so glad you wanted to wear a wig.
Yes, it makes it a lot more fun, I think.
I agree. And that's what we're doing here, is having fun. So for our guests, can you please let us know your sun, moon, rising, and your OG witch inspiration?
My sun is Taurus. I'm a Taurus sun, Cancer moon, and Gemini rising.
Love.
And then what was the OG thing you said?
OG witch inspiration.
OG witch inspiration. So Angelica Houston, when she played the the main witch in The Witches, I love Angelica Houston so much, and that role and her story, the Roald Dahl story, everything. That.
So good. Did you see the new one?
I didn't see the new one. It's hard for me to take something I love so much sometimes and like separate it in my mind like as a new thing and not see it tainting the original, so
I absolutely vibe with that. I love that doing this show, I have never had an overlap. Everyone has a different OG, and I love it.
Amazing.
Okay, so you have a Cancer moon, which means you are perfect for this episode. We're going to go into 3 topics: homes, feelings, and motherhood. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. So ready.
So I'm looking at your beautiful home behind you now with the piano and everything. So are you a homebody? Do you like to stick close to home?
Definitely. I'm definitely a nester. I like to create my home environment to be as comfy and cozy and nurturing as possible. That being said, I think I do that because I like that place to come back to. But I like to venture out knowing I have this really nurturing space to always return to.
I love that so much. It's like an inviting hug whenever you're just done.
Yes, exactly. I need that.
Do you have like a certain style? I mean, I'm looking and everything seems just like very beautiful and elegant. I'm definitely getting the Taurus vibes.
Yes.
But do you have like a certain style that you really like to keep everything at?
I find that like I can appreciate many different styles. I think what I enjoy is are places that know themselves and really just like accentuate whatever it is. So my last place was like this white box loft. So everything that I had in there was like white and black and just very like stark and clean. But this house is built in like the 1920s, I believe, and it has like all the original wood in it. And so I feel like you like honor that space, and this place gives more, it's a more like cottage core vibe that I would like to eventually go to. Right now, this place is, this is kind of my creative mess room. So that's just like been the spot where I play piano and everything, but the rest of the house, like it's very like cottage vibe to, again, just honor the original like house.
Yeah, and then to come home to that, so cozy.
Yes, very cozy.
Do you have like a super cozy spot in your apartment that's your go-to?
Oh gosh, every room has a very cozy spot, I think. But my den, or I have like a projector for my TV, and like it's a couch, but it's flat as like I just have like a bunch of pillows on it, and it's just like the place I plop down and like have my snacks, and there's trays, and I'll eat in there, and it's very cozy. But every room there's a cozy spot, I think.
I love that also with the Taurus Cancer stuff. I mean, how could it not be? Very on brand.
What are
but
your
my
big three? I want to know real quick.
my
Your big three. Yeah.
I'm triple Scorpio.
Whoa. Okay.
And it's all in the 12th house. It's a lot.
See, the houses are something that I can't grasp it quite yet. Maybe like at a later date, I need like an explanation that is like for dummies, because the houses confuse me. So I don't want to take away from this, but I need like a tutoring session.
Well, we'll put it this way. It's spooky to the upteenth degree. So it's just all the spookies. And I really feel like I love finding like a dark little hole. Like I used to love building forts when I was a kid, or I had this like slidey walk-in closet that I just lined with pillows because I wanted to be in my little hidey hole. And now so my ex just recently moved out. And so I've been reclaiming the land and making everything extra cozy. Honestly, like it makes me so happy to be in my home right now. And so I'm happy that you're feeling similar energy.
Oh, I totally get it. I love that. Yes. And finding the little nooks and crannies and any little spot that you can just give life to and give yourself to, and make it like a integral part of like a small place that becomes like so just filled with yourself. I love that.
Yes, and with the decorating and everything, like we had a lot of like stark white IKEA furniture just because we needed it. And so now I'm repainting all of it and like refinishing it like I want it. And it just really feels like me. And I'm like, yes, this is it. I love that you have a creativity room though too, because my office is very similar. It's got like all the sets up and everything. Like, do you have a routine where you just come in and visit your creative room at certain times of the day?
Every morning, unless I have like some kind of meeting scheduled, my morning routine is really like I make my really decadent over the top coffee, and I will come in here, feed the cats, and then come in here and practice and play piano for at least like an hour to 2 hours.
That's really beautiful and such a like creative and soothing way to wake up your mind and body.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because with piano too, it's something that it is a really good way to start the day, because playing an instrument or reading music, anything like musical, I think really fires off so many neural pathways, because you're activating so many things. Like, it's coming through your hands, but you're reading music, and it's left brain, right brain. It's just like everything. And it is like learning a new language, like, learning how to read music and everything. And then take that all away, and then you just like play whatever, get inspired by different things, and I'll just like create. So it's definitely a really important start to my day.
I love that. I'm very actually envious of it, because I started playing piano when I was about 4 or 5 and stayed in for about a decade. So, and I was classically trained, and I could play like Mozart, Bach, all these things, read music like English. And it's a muscle. It goes away. I don't know that I could do that again. So
I think you
maybe,
could. And I think
maybe I'll like start incorporating that into my morning routine.
I really think that it's the best thing. I used to do like my 5 morning pages. Like, I don't know if you've read The Artist's Way, but it's like you write, just like stream of consciousness for 5 pages. And I used to do that, but and I still would like to, but I think it's also about like my priority is like the first thing that I do in my day. And so it's like become like this thing to nurture my creativity and my discipline and everything like that. So
yeah, I really love that, because I usually feel like, how a lot of people get the Sunday scaries. I get like the morning scaries where I'm like, okay, I have stuff to do. But if I just allowed myself like an hour in the morning to just like zone in, I feel like the rest of the day would be fantastic.
I really think it's changed my life. Like, not to be, no, to be dramatic, this has changed my,
Yes.
because I feel like, to put things into perspective, it's just like, what is the most important thing for my personal well-being and what I want in my life? And it really comes down to, like, the piano is just something that represents so much to me, and it's just like that creative muscle and everything. So I realized, like, the first thing I do in the morning should be the thing that's the most important to me. And so it has, like, shifted a lot to just like make sure that that's the thing that I do in the morning.
Yeah, it
So
sets the tone for the day so magically.
yeah.
Ah, I love that. Okay, well, on that very inspirational note, let's take a quick break to view some messages and then we'll be right back. Do you like crystals? Do you like to them? Well, if you're anything like this, Triple Scorpio, your answers are yes and hell yes. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about Chakrubs, the world's first crystal sex toy company. Chakrubs has a variety of product types and healing styles, and they are non-porous and non-toxic, so you can feel free to insert without worry, just like me. So head on over to chakrubs.com and enter code WITCHYWISDOM for 15% off of your order. Happy healing! Do you like to smoke weed? I know I do, but I also don't like to leave the comfort of my home. That's why Witchy Wisdoms and WitchTalk has partnered with ease.com, so you can place your order directly from the comfort of your couch and receive it within the hour. Ease has daily promos and a variety of strain selections, so you're never going to get bored with what they have to offer. And if you live in my hometown of Los Angeles or anywhere else in the California or Michigan area, you can download Ease today and start getting delivery. Use the link down below and start ordering today. All right, everyone, and we are back, and we're going to tackle our next two topics, feelings and motherhood. We're getting juicy. So, I and my friend Jasmine Wolf have said that Cancer is the most punk rock sign because they feel everything so intensely. So how does your Cancer moon show up for you?
Um, it, it's funny, with a Taurus sun, I think I do come off as stoic a lot, like that strong, like bull. But yeah, inside I am definitely extremely sensitive. And I think sensitivity is not just like emotionally, I think, like, sensually, I'm extremely sensitive. So anything like sound, I'm really, really sensitive to, and the environment, like we were talking about, it really just like kind of hits me hard. But yeah, I mean, my Cancer moon, I'm a crybaby, and I like to cry. It's like I will cry and be in hysterics and then feel really, really great after. And then just almost like be like, okay, I needed that flush or whatever that was. And then it feels so good. So crying and being emotional is often cathartic for me, and just often leaves me in a place of feeling so much better to actually feel and indulge in my emotions.
Hell yes. Hell yes to that. Because that's the one thing that Cancer, I think, does better than any other sign, even Pisces or Scorpio, is feel.
Yeah.
And the only way to heal is to feel through something. And I'll find myself being like very sad, but unable to cry. And the fact that Cancers just kind of have that natural ability to like let it loose, let it go, it's admirable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of us kind of struggle with actually feeling our feelings. I think we're not really taught to not intellectualize our feelings, and there's nothing wrong with that too. I think intellectualizing or analyzing, emotions is a way to process. But yeah, I mean, tears actually hold cortisol, right? So it's actually like stress leaving your body if you allow the waterworks to just come. So big advocate for crying.
I did not know that. but that's probably going to help unprogram some stuff for me. Cause I'm like, okay, if there's like an actual benefit aside from like me just feeling a world's better, then great.
My sister told me this, so it's not something I've researched. But yeah, she told me that tears actually hold cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So cry, cry when you need to.
My sister is also a Cancer moon, and she's double Aquarius, but Cancer moon, which is a little conflicting for her. But she also says things really, really confidently. So I don't know. I listen to sisters. If she
Yeah,
said it, then it's true.
I listen to my sister with everything. She's definitely my go-to person that I'll always take her advice.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So let's go back to sensitivities and talking about sensuality, because that's like your whole thing, you know, between chakrubs and music and just art curation. So, I mean, how do you think your sensitivities guided you to create chakrubs?
Well, I think it was because I got so numb before I created Chakrubs. When I lost my virginity, it was non-consensual, and I had been in a relationship for 6 years. That was very, it was I was subconsciously learning that pleasure was for my partner, not for me. And it was just like, in order to kind of protect myself from that kind of toxicity, I think I became very numb. I became numb emotionally. I became numb physically. So having sex, being penetrated, literally just felt so devoid of any like sensation. I don't know how to really explain it, but it's like a numb feeling. Like, something is there, but you're not feeling it. And so it was just an epiphany that I had. I think, early 20s, it was just an all of a sudden thing. I was just like, wait, I don't want to be numb. I think it was like this existential moment of realizing that I'm a quarter of my life done. And I think I knew like on a level, like feeling and pleasure are birthrights. Like, this is like the point of life. I was like working like all these crazy jobs, like stressing myself out constantly to make rent and everything. And it was just like, wait a second, like, what is life if not to like indulge in emotion and pleasure and all these things? So that's what really led me to create Chakrubs. It was just like a cocktail of certain things, because I ended up breaking up with that partner and taking a job at the Pleasure Chest and being around a lot of people that were very educated about sexuality and very like free about it. And so I was like in that realm. And then I also was hosting this like really popular YouTube spirituality teacher in my home, and he was getting like crystals sent to the house, and and it was just like a bunch of those things. I was going through this thing personally where I knew I wanted to regain a sense of self and feeling in life. And yeah, chakras just kind of came to me one night, like when I was with that spiritual teacher. Like, I followed him to a meeting with other like spiritual people, and the host had like a bunch of crystals and just whatever. The rest is history. But the fact that crystals they they're a subtle energy, but some people are really sensitive to crystal energy. So I felt like this connection to crystals, and I knew that like having this very emotionally supportive style tool to help specifically for like my sexuality, my sensuality, was going to bring about changes. And it just did. And it still does. Though now it's very like, the more you work with crystals, the more sensitive you become to them. So now it's almost like I have to not use it all the time, because every time that I use my own products, I'm getting flooded with like information from, you know, I don't know, like through, it's like meditation when you like feel like you're getting like downloads, you know? So it's really, really intense for me nowadays. So it's actually like, I don't use Chakrubs as often as I did in the beginning, but because I've really resensitized myself to energy, to sensuality, to emotions, to myself. I just like, you know, came back to who I was before that like experience happened over those 6 years of just, you know, becoming numb.
But that's a really inspirational story to be now so far on the other side
Yeah.
to where you're just like hype. Because I remember I've been following your work for a while. You know, we've been in touch for a while now. We love to read your posts that are curate. Like it's just, I love your work.
Thank
And I
you.
remember because I'm a survivor as well.
Mhm.
And I remember you wrote this one post about I think it was being able to come on a blade of grass or just like sitting outside in a picnic. And I was like, because I had felt that numb feeling too. And I was like, how could that even be possible?
Yeah.
Like, how do I get there kind of thing? And it just felt so inspiring to me.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think that so now I'm at a place where it is, I think I don't want to come off as like this sex guru or somebody that's just like ultra orgasmic and like all these things, because the thing that I've come to is that I am myself before that experience. I came back to myself and I almost like I am, it's it's very momentary. It's very like I am who I am in the moment and I accept who I am in the moment. And sometimes there are times when I am distracted mentally, and I always like to say that because I feel like now with everything that is so like social media has changed since I started so much, where when I started this was pioneering to talk about masturbation. This was, you know, this was like not the thing, but now it's a lot more accepted. But now I feel like the pendulum has swung, where it's almost like now I see from a lot of brands, it's almost like this pressure to be multi-orgasmic and like all these things. And I'm almost like, well, no, just the point is to just be who you are in the moment. Know that these things are possible. These like downloads during sex are possible. And, you know, crazy cosmic orgasms are possible, but don't, it's like I want to like protect people into not getting trapped into feeling like you're not enough if you don't experience those things. Like actually, like jazz piano, it's like you learn all the tips and tricks and modes and everything to like play jazz, right? But then you're supposed to kind of forget and just be in the moment and improvise. And that's what I want people to perceive like their sex lives as. You can educate yourself and know what's possible, but then just like let it go and just be in the moment and just see what comes naturally and be inspired by whatever's around you and just like feel that. That's like my messaging now.
Well, yeah. And I think obviously, like, your messaging has to course correct with like the ether and everybody in social media land. But that, yeah, I mean, that feels exactly like the point is learning how to be vulnerable and present, which
Yeah,
is, I think, what all survivors want to get back to is just like being able to be who you are. And of course,
totally.
companies will bastardize that.
Yeah.
Um, but at least we still have you to be the voice of reason and be like, this is for your comfort and your own like healing. It's not so you can be this like, I don't know. I do get this image of like a one of these, just like, yeah.
Which everything has its purpose, and it's not to like, you know, put down anybody in the sphere, because everything plays a part and it's important. But I just feel like you know, to speak to people who might now feel like, oh, I'm so inspired to like feel all these things, and that's beautiful, that's great, but also just watch that you're not pressuring yourself to then do any do that. Just like let it happen when
Yeah.
it happens, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, it's taking the pressure out of sex, which is something that I think two survivors were like a little hardwired to think it comes with it. So it's just
Yeah,
like that in another hat.
yeah,
But yeah, you're right. Everything does have its place. Everything has a spectrum. Everyone has a different libido. But yeah, I think the message of being like, okay, you're a survivor. Well, how about now you're gonna be this like sex goddess and your whole purpose is to come and that's all you know. It's a little bit of a jump.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So speaking of jumping, let's hop over to motherhood because
Okay,
I mean you don't have children, do you?
just my cats.
So same. I am a cat mom. But we are both also mothers in a way to our businesses, to our books.
Yeah,
How do you feel about having that label of a mother when you think about your company?
I love it. I think it's, I think, I mean, cancer too, to bring it to that level too, it's like cancer is that energy of like the mother archetype. Um, and I think I've actually, years ago, I remember, I remember when I was first starting Chakrubs and um, making headway like in the sphere of like the business world and like things were like happening. I remember like some of my peers, like even I went to high school with or whatever, like posting on Facebook. This might sound petty or something, but they would like they would get so much praise, you know, when they were like having children and all these things, and that's amazing. But I remember like I posed a question like, if Chakrubs, if this was like you saw it as my baby, would you like give me some kind of that praise, you know, because this is like a major thing that I just gave birth to and it's growing. Like look how cute my baby is. And it's like it was kind of, you know, and it's weird because it's a I there was other layers, I'm sure, like people might have been embarrassed or didn't want to like, I don't know, it was just like a weird thing at that time. I get it. Your friend from high school you know, started a crystal dildo company and you that might, you know, that's not like a typical thing, but it was like a question. Like I wonder um how friendships could have maybe like deepened if this was actually like a baby. You saw it as that.
I love that that's where you went first because that's exactly where my mind was when I crafted this question because I see that too. Yeah, it's everybody, you know, people come out of the woodwork when you get married, when you have babies because it's kind of like, you know, the Capricorn societal thing that you like need to do. You're checking those things off. But the women that I've met in the spiritual circle, I mean, actually, I think most of y'all are Taurus business owners. But anyways, um, like elite, y'all are a different breed. Um, but uh, it's like these are monumental, fascinating things that you've created out of nowhere, and yet it still doesn't receive. It's like, oh, are you still just kind of playing around? When are you going to get serious and have kids? And it's like
Yeah.
this is my kid.
But I also, there's a reverse thing too, because I think there is a part of me that feels like these these people having children, I'm like, oh, you, this is so like um so transparent, but there is a part of me that's like, oh, you gave up on your dream. Which is a horrible thing to say because it's, I know that that is a dream and that's a beautiful thing, and I think motherhood is fucking phenomenal. And you know, it's, I don't intellectually mean what I just said, but if we're talking about feeling, that is a feeling that I get. Like, but that's projecting. I feel like if I did have uh I, you know, I had an abortion when I was like early 20s before I started Chakrubs. And so I'll think about that. Like if I had like gone through with that, my life would have been that. I feel, and I wouldn't have like maybe developed this other energetic creation. And so, to me, I know that that feeling is projecting my own sense of like, that's how I saw like having a baby at that time would have been like giving up on my dream. But it's obviously not that way for people who have kids, but that's like the projection shadow feeling that I get sometimes.
Well, I mean, I have a similar one, and my shadow projection comes from not only like agreeing exactly with what you said, but also having boomer parents that lived for their kids and not for themselves, and then became horribly unhappy and toxic, and it wasn't good for anybody. So I'm like, I don't know. To me, when I see a 25-year-old having a kid, it's like babies having babies. I'm like, you haven't even gone through your Saturn return yet. And obviously, like motherhood, wonderful. I mean, I praise anyone that does it. I think it's fantastic. But yeah, those are the thoughts that come up for me too.
Yeah, and it's just like, my mom, because I've expressed this to her, because I think that like she's always been, I mean, she had my sister when she was like early 20s, and we'll talk about this because she knows that feeling that comes up for me, and she'll say like that's, she wants grandbabies too, more of them. So she'll be like, you can still like do your, you can still do your thing if you have kids. And that's so true. And there are, so it's like what I said about like feeling like when you have a baby, you give up on your dreams is so not true, because like people do just like, follow their North Star or whatever they're meant to do. And like having a baby shouldn't take away like that part of you. And for a lot of people, it doesn't, but for some, maybe it does. And I think for me, it might have. So that's why I have that thought.
I agree. I think, yeah, big disclaimer, moms, we love you. But
yes.
no, but I have that same, and I'm glad that you tied it up in that way, where it's like, I feel like that would be my truth if I expressed it, because I'm a very all or nothing person anyways. My therapist and I are working on extremes, but to bring a kid into that, like, I feel like, and I don't think I would have been able to grow my business as much or explore even what it looked like to me if I had a child, because I think I would just be all for the kid, which you should be.
Yeah, I mean, my sister, she has 3 amazing kids, and she just opened up a boutique salon she's absolutely killing it, and she's just like this incredible like powerhouse, and it's called Goddess Culture. She's just like incredible, like, talk of the town and everything. She actually is like known as a psychic hairdresser. Like she'll like touch your hair and like know what you want. It's so she's like a mom. She's like so cool doing this thing. And like there's so many, people that it's just we're all on our own path, and nothing is right or wrong. It's just the individual journey. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, if you're able to like tackle your own projections and fears, like I said, I mean, I used to say I never wanted kids. I think that's going to change.
Yeah.
I don't know about right now, but yeah, life is not linear. And I think as long as we can explore our shadow and know it's a projection, then we're on the right track.
Totally. Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, well, that being said, we are going to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back with a game that's all about moms.
Cool.
Did you know I was a triple Scorpio? If not, you've probably never heard of me, or you've been living under a rock for the past 32 years. But now, I'll never have to worry about who I need to brag to again because of my beautiful print from Oracle's Haven. Oracle's Haven is an online witchy retailer that has incredibly beautiful products, like this print and my favorite robe. You can get 15% off of your entire order today at theoracleshaven.com if you use code WITCHY. Tell them I sent you. Are you in the mood to hex your ex? Maybe you're sick of seeing them on the astral. Or maybe you keep dating people that are carbon copies of them. Or maybe they're just an Then you need the Hex Your Ex Masterclass. This masterclass is a comprehensive guide to inner child healing, cognitive behavioral therapy, shadow work, ritual, and of course, baneful magic. You're hitting return to sender in this class, where you're gonna take all of your ex's energetic baggage, put it in this box, and then watch it disappear. It's only $66.60, and you can get it via the link below. You're gonna get the masterclass and an e-guide in your inbox instantly. Happy hexing.
All right, everyone, and we are back, and we are playing a brand new game today called Your Mama's So Cosmic. So in this game, I'm going to give you a famous TV character, and you are going to guess their sun sign. And as we have gone over during the break, they do have actual sun signs, and I think that people behind the scenes in these shows definitely had astrologers. So are you ready to play?
Yes.
Yay! Okay. First things first. So we have Linda Belcher.
Okay.
From Bob's Burgers.
Okay. That's a good one. I'm leaning towards actually Cancer. She's like very family oriented. She's sensitive. I would almost go like Libra rising or something for her maybe, but we're only doing sun sign. So I'll say Cancer.
Honestly, like I totally understand that because she does have such a bleeding heart for her kids. And like, they're my favorite dysfunctional family because they're so functional in their dysfunction.
Yes.
But she is a Gemini.
Gemini. Okay.
June 3rd. Yeah, I feel like she's also the person that's like putting everything together. She's really creative. She's really, really talkative, loves to chat.
Yes.
So I was like, I see that.
I love it.
Okay. This one too. Honestly, all of these, I was like, yep. Second one, Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek.
I knew you were going to ask me Moira. Moira is definitely, she has to be a fucking Leo.
Taurus.
Oh my God. Yes.
May 15. I mean, I have to say right now, you're giving me kind of Moira vibes. So I was like.
Well, I'm just like, she is so, see, I would go her maybe like a Scorpio moon or definitely like a water moon, but she's so flamboyant and she's so insecure, like, but so confident at the same time. So it's like she shows up and she does her thing, but yet she's like hiding in a closet if somebody like brings up an insecurity to her. So that was my reasoning. But Taurus, I could totally see too.
It's just the decadence of Taurus that just really vibes with her. And yeah, I think if she had that Scorpio moon, because that's that like her crying in the closet part. But yeah, oh, Moira, what a queen. What a queen. Okay, number 3, we have Marge Simpson.
Marge Simpson. Huh. You know, I haven't watched The Simpsons too much. This is tough. I'm going to say Cancer again.
Well, you're close, actually. She's Pisces. March 10th. Yeah, I don't really watch that show much either, but the ones that I have seen, she's very Pisces. Just gooey, sweet, kind of out there, but just full of love. Yeah. And a little codependent.
Yes,
like,
love it. Makes sense.
Okay. Next, we have Sophia Petrillo from Golden Girls.
Which one is she?
She's
The
the oldest one. She's Dorothy's mom.
Okay.
Little firecracker.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. We'll go fire sign. I would say either she's maybe Sagittarius.
Aries.
Aries. I was gonna say Aries first. Damn it.
April 17th. She's an Aries. You're close though. Honestly, I wish we had like their full charts. Okay, and then last one. We have Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development.
Oh, okay.
She's the fancy one with the martinis.
Oh yes. Libra.
Very close to you're always getting the same element, but she's also a Gemini.
Gemini.
Sharp tongue, that one.
Okay. 0 for how many was that? Oh geez. But yeah, I think that I was kind of close to a few.
Honestly, I'm gonna give you 3 out of 5 because you got the elements.
Okay, I got the elements. Cool.
And also there are no prizes, so we all win here.
No, that's fun. I actually really like to think like that, about characters on TV shows and what their zodiacs would be. It's a fun exercise.
I do it all the time. I do it especially with reality TV shows because then I can go check like their whole birth chart because it's usually there, and I quiz myself, see if I'm right.
That's a good thing to do for sure. Yeah, because you get that actual information.
Love it. So that's gonna do it for our show today. Can you tell everyone where they can find you, connect with you, support you?
Yeah, it's you can Google Chakrubs, Chakrubs. It's just chakrubs.com. It's at Chakrubs on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that. And then my personal is just Vanessa_Cuccia. But you could find that through Chakrubs stuff.
And if you go on Chakrubs, use code Witchy Wisdom. You can get some
wisdom, and you'll
get some get a discount off your order. Well, thank you so much for being here and playing and chatting. We had fun. We talked about feelings. I mean, what could be better?
Oh my God, the best. Thank you so much for having me. And this encouraging me to wear a wig, and I love it. Thank you so much.
Fabulous. And we will see everybody next time for the Capricorn full moon. Bye.